hope you do too. Welcome, welcome. This is Lady Lou, the baby boomer babe, coming to you from deep in the heart of Texas. We're in Houston and loving every minute of it. We've actually had rain and we've got, yep, there's sunshine out there today. So it's going to be steamy and hot, but that's typical. But I want you to meet the most wonderful lady I know. She is out in San Diego, California. Her name is April Mahoney. I call her April the Fabulous Mahoney. Yeah, I just love this lady. And I feel like I've known her all my life. So, April, say hello.
Hello, Brains. May I call your loving fans Brains?
You may.
Okay, good. I want to welcome them into my heart and into my space. Thank you so much, Louise, for having me here with
You're
the baby
welcome.
boomers. I love it. The baby boomer babe. Do it, girl.
Yes, I made that up. I guess you all know that. That's my middle name is MSU. Make stuff up. Well, I want you to know about April. She is, this lady must never stop. I wonder sometimes when she sleeps because she gets so much done. But that's the people you want to get to if you want things done because they'll get them done. So, April, tell us a little bit of where you are and where you've been and kind of like a short bio, please.
Oh, my God. It's been a roller coaster ride ever since I was put on the planet. Okay. I'm not lying to you. I'll tell you the truth. I'm originally from Los Angeles, California, and my parents realized at a very early age that I had a hearing, well, not a hearing challenge, but I couldn't hear the sounds phonetically, the
Oh.
PH, the I, the Y. And so my stepfather introduced me to Dr. Zeus, and one thing led to another, and I started rhyming and writing poems. And then I challenged myself. There was a magazine that Michael Jackson and all of the rock and roll stars were in. It was called Right On Magazine. And I started submitting entries. And I won, girl, got me some checks in the mail. I said, there's something to this. So I kept going and I entered radio contests. And as it evolved, I started studying public speaking and being an orator because I love to, talk, but I also learned to listen. And one thing led to another. And a friend of mine said, you're a great orator and speaker. Why don't you come and join me on my nationally syndicated radio show? Well, by that time, I had published 3 books. And Louise, and I told you, girl, I sold 10,000 copies of those books right out of the trunk of my car. Okay.
Oh.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The information is brand new to the person that hasn't read it. Okay.
That's
and
why.
so that. And from there, I had a podcast and I heard my voice and I heard the questions and the interactions with the people. Here I am 7 years later. I just celebrated my 7th year anniversary and 22,000 brains have listened to On the Edge with April Mahoney worldwide. So I thank you and I love you. I do. I do.
Well, have you got that website in your brain to give it out to people?
Oh,
www.
www.blogtalkradio.com
There it is.
/ April Mahoney. And it's On the Edge with April Mahoney.
I love it. I've been listening to it. This morning, I was even listening to one of your interviews.
Thank
You
you.
find the neatest people, girlfriend.
You know what? And I'm telling you, I'm going to give you a trade secret for your people.
All right.
Go with the low-hanging fruit. I mean, really, I love that. The first of the year, every year, I go through my Rolodex because I want to edit and filter, see are people still connecting, if they're still interested with what I'm doing, if I'm interested in what they're doing, if the phone number worked, girl, if their cell phone that got turned off. So I like to go through it and see, but these are people that you've already connected with. You've had an interaction with a conversation. You've exchanged niceties. You have each other's card. And I'm telling you, it is just a boatload of resources right there at your feet. And people just ignore it all the time. It's the follow-up.
It is. And without that, why have you wasted your time?
Exactly. Why did you do that? And I know that you're a strong networker there. I heard you used to clean the clock there in Houston, Texas.
I was the queen for a lot of years.
That's right.
People used to say, you mean you wore a real crown? I said, no, it was plastic from Toys R Us. It was so fun.
So funny. You are so funny. I adore you. But
Thank
you know,
you.
it does take skill, but it's a lot of common sense wisdom to work a room.
Oh,
And
yeah.
people go in there, they think they have to work the room like the Swiffer, every nook and cranny. But you don't, you want to target who it is that, you find interest with, or it might be a project that you're working on, more information, a great way to volunteer, but over listen to conversations, because that's basically, people are going to tell you who they are, especially if they are fluent. They wear that as a badge of honor, honey. They want everybody to know, look at me.
Yeah.
So that's good. What are some of your tricks? What are some of your techniques that you use in networking?
My favorite was to wear a giant spider pin on my left shoulder. I mean,
Wow.
that pin could be that big, and I had him crawling up toward my head.
Mm,
Everybody knew that was Louise. She
wow.
was the queen. She was wearing that spider. Plus, I had the crown on. But that spider, people could spot me across a room from the back with that spider.
One of those nice crystal ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I tell people that's another great thing. If they're introverted and they don't like to really talk, walk in with a hat or a nice big overstated piece of jewelry. Now, don't walk in looking like Bozo the Clown, and everybody cannot wear a crown like the queen. However, a nice hat, especially in Texas, women love that down south.
Yes.
Too, a nice straw hat, it is the differentiator. People want to know who you are.
I'll tell you a little story. I was in, I forgot where in California. I went with a girlfriend to an entrepreneur's workshop. It was a convention type thing. And there was this lady at one of the tables, the display tables, and she was wearing a hat and a very nice outfit. I walked right up to her and says, "You look like somebody important. I need to know you."
And she might have been the person that's hosting it. You never know.
You never know.
And you got to be careful too, because somebody could be high profile looking like the cats drug them in. Supposed to come looking crazy.
I know.
And, again, we were talking about that earlier, how it's just a different mindset. A lot of millennials really don't take that extra step in, dressing up. It's very casual. But that is how the world is today. I mean, you look at some high profile people like Mark Zuckerberg. I see him in the same pair of pants and shirt all the time. I saw him in a suit one time, and he's a gazillionaire. So you can't judge a book by its cover. That's just how they're doing it now. We got to speak that language.
Yeah, just be sure you're clean. And we were talking about breath.
Oh,
That's a biggie when you're networking because you're close to people. Make that breath sweet.
yes.
Tell them your story about that fellow you were telling me about earlier.
Well, there was a pastor, and when he would be in the pulpit and he would give the benediction, he'd always turn around and pop a bent in his mouth. And I tell you, we get up there and get that hallelujah and shouting, and that sweet effervescence of his voice hits you, girl, you be done fell all out. You don't know if it was his goodness or the real Holy Ghost. So it's a lot of, it's a lot of power behind that. And again, people have to take care of their teeth. I know. And it's hard. But now insurances are so different. It used to be you got the whole package. You get your medical and you get your dental. Now they don't do that. And I heard in Medi-Cal situations, they'll take them out, but they're not going to give you no choppers. They're not going to put them in.
Oh, no.
Or they won't give you a partial, So it's crazy. So people are discouraged from doing that. But the key teeth are very important because that can make you sick internally.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I often wondered why insurance messes with not doing dental, because without dental health, our whole body can go downhill.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, don't get me started on that one.
I've got to dab my nose here because I'm sweating, girl. I don't play. Now you all, heat. I don't know how you guys get away with it and be so comfortable and adjust to that heat. Texas and Arizona, I'm melting.
Well, I'm inside. Air conditioning. Texans don't do without air conditioning.
Well, yeah. Well, I guess so. Are your electric bills real high there?
Oh, my house is well insulated, so mine's only maybe $250 a month, which is not good, but it's not bad. Other people have huge houses, and theirs can be $500 or $600 or $800 a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
gas and electric? I mean, for the most part, are they
For the
mostly?
most part. Mine's gas.
Okay.
It's cheaper.
Well, it can be a big differentiator. How's your water? You guys got plenty of water?
As far as Houston's concerned, right now they've had a lot of rain, but
Wow.
water doesn't usually be a problem unless we have severe drought. Now,
Mm,
I'm up here in the country. I have a deep well. I'm not on city water. I'm out way out from the city.
I know it probably tastes so good and fresh.
Well,
Mm.
it's very hard,
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, when you shower and stuff.
full of minerals, and it clogs up the plumbing occasionally and stuff like that. But I wouldn't have it any other way. I am not into fluoride. I'm one of those.
I know. So tell me about you a little bit. That's what I want to know because you also do a phenomenal job. I mean, you have a niche market. You're catering to people over 50 years old. And girl, when you said seniors, I had to rewind. I was like, oh, I am in that club. I went right up to anything on my discount. You know, again, it's a mind shift. And so now I'm ready to take my seat in the throne at rite of passage and honor it. You know, it is a transition, but again, it's your heart and getting out and being mobile. Tell us about some of the things you do. Now, your regular listeners know, but my brains don't know.
Well, I want to know about the brain, so I'll just give mine real briefly. Uh, I just love people, so I want to do podcasts. I want to interview people. I want to help the seniors because a lot of times when you're a senior, your job is gone because you retired, and your husband or your wife may be passed on, or you're divorced.
Right,
You stay home and you say, "What's next?"
right.
You don't know where to start.
Mm,
And that's where I want to come in. I want to help them get their life back, get their everything back. Because I went through that when I was younger. When my husband died, I didn't know who I was. So
right.
that's another story for later. But tell us now about your brains. How did you come to name your viewers and listeners your brains?
Well, all of it is very symbolic. So my company is called A Good Person Productions. And there I want to encourage people to want better, to do better, and to be better through growth, community, and understanding of one another. So from there, that's something I aspire to be. I haven't arrived. It's a work in progress. But then I said, you know what? I want to resonate right into people's cranium, right where they think, where they edit, where they process, where they recall their information. Where is that? It's in their brain.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that is your nucleus. I mean, if you can get over things uh, mentally, everything else will fall in line. And I'm talking to smart people. That's how I found you. And I want to acknowledge and I want to honor that. And it's so
Thank
fun.
you.
If I do something and I don't call them a brain, they'll say, oh, "What's wrong? You know, are you angry? What's wrong?
I want to be one.
Yeah, we're not smart." You know, I'm like, really? You know, but it's a lot of fun, and it's been my branding. It's been my branding for 7 years, so it's hanging on and it's catching on like wildflower.
I'll bet. Now,
Yeah,
what about the edge? You call your show The Edge?
on the edge with
On the
April
edge.
Mahoney, and that's a place where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull.
I love it.
So I want people to be edgy. I don't want you to be uptight edgy. I want you to be on the cutting edge, right at the tip, on the point of understanding, the point of just breaking away. If you're walking on the edge, you're crawling on the edge, you're crying on the edge, you're feeding on the edge, you're loving on the edge, that's where I want you to be with me on the edge.
Perfect. Perfect. That's
But
an inspiration to all of us. And I know sometimes we get in a funk or get depressed or kind of sink away because maybe things aren't going right or anything. Go over there to Blog Talk Radio and listen to April's show. She's always got something so fun.
oh yeah, I've had some very interesting shows lately, very emotional shows. And I've been really focusing kind of on NLP, neuro linguistic
I
programming.
love it.
Let me tell you, because that subconscious mind is great. I'm going to give you listeners a exclusive. I'm going to get hypnotized for my birthday. I'm
Are
so
you?
I'm really ready to go. I want to see what I'm talking about. She's going to record it and everything. I'll come back and tell you. I'm
Please.
like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. You may
Maybe
not.
I was a bird in my previous life. Who knows?
Oh. Well,
Oh, what old crow.
whatever works. Well, we'll definitely have to come back and talk about that one
Yeah,
because I don't think you know it, but I'm also a hypnotherapist.
shut the front door.
Yeah, love it.
Uh-uh.
I love it. I don't do it much anymore, but
Yeah.
I that's how I helped heal myself when my husband died.
Wow. Oh, that's good. Well, you're going to talk about that on the edge of my brains.
All right.
Really. Yeah, that's going to be really good. So, there's smart people, and I really brush my show with a broad stroke.
You do.
I'm too creative to just kind of stay in one lane. But I don't do politics because it makes me physically ill. I do do, yeah, I do civil rights, and I don't do celebrity gossip because I'm very fortunate to work with a lot of people in Hollywood, and I'm not gonna come back and tell the world who they suing and who they screwing. I'm not doing it. It's more to them than that. They need to be able to just turn it off, and when they're around me, they turn it off. I mean, I honor that. I want to honor
Okay.
this. So it's pretty fun. We talk about everything: Bitcoin, art, entertainment, music, science, research, health, stem cell research. We talk to senior citizens. I even talk to sixth graders.
Ah,
Oh, and I love that because that's Generation Z. Really, what's in
Z.
their mind? Yeah, Z.
What's next one gonna be? That's it.
And they start all over again. But it's a different language. Kids are really talking about some powerful stuff. And so I really want to get into their head. And if I can help navigate that, it's a whole different world. I mean, you see these kids coming up out the ground with all these marches that they're having like dandelions. And
I
they
know.
have a different message. They really do. And so I want to hear what they're saying.
Well, kids are smarter than we were at that age. I
It's
mean,
a
I didn't have a clue when I was in the sixth grade.
Now, did you have siblings? Are you only child or?
I'm in the middle. A younger sister and an older brother.
Oh, okay. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah, it was three of us as well, but it's real spread out. So,
Uh,
it's really good to kind of tap in with them and see what's going on with these high schoolers too, because it's different.
oh yeah,
It's different. So,
they're so smart. I mean, they know I think they were born knowing electronics.
well, you see the kids now, they're sitting down and they're not interacting at 2 or 3. They know how to find their little programs or whatever on the device. But
But that's
it's
hmm?
dangerous. It's dangerous because you lose, again, everyone knows your social skills. You can't separate, even us adults, separate yourself from the device. Now,
Yes.
I have strange sleeping hours, but I shut it off about 11 o'clock. I have lunch or whatever. I turn on some music and I step away from it for several hours. I don't answer calls or anything because I need to decompress. It's
Good.
crazy. It's
Good.
crazy. And so, processing. So, what's going on in the senior community? Are they really reaching out and trying to learn technology?
Some are and some aren't.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, where they are. They may not be in groups that understand it, and that's okay because I didn't understand it for a long time. But I'm running with people now who love it and know it and are teaching me.
Mm. Well, my
Hmm.
aunt's 88. Her and my mama say it's the devil, and they don't want to have nothing to do with it.
No, no.
He said, "Oh my God, you're going to have an interview, and you're going to see her right there." I said, "Right there." Oh boy, so the technology is, and then artificial intelligence. I was doing something, and Siri was talking back to me. I wasn't even talking to it. I was like, "You got to be careful about that. You never know what you're going to say."
I know. And that Siri is smart.
Very smart, and getting smarter, getting
Yeah,
smarter.
I didn't used to trust her until I was around my girlfriend Mary, and her phone, of course, is locked in on Siri. And that girl can find anything when you're hunting for places. And
Wow.
I trust her now.
So tell me a little bit about the activities that you do with your group. I'm interested to know what they're doing down there in Texas because y'all don't do nothing small in Texas.
We try. We do our best. But the show, the Baby Boomer Babe Show, is just getting started. We're gathering audience, and we're going to start doing events, small events to start with, maybe luncheons or lunch and learns. I love lunch and learns. And we maybe do picnics, bring a potluck. I do quite a few little potlucks here at my house for my girlfriends.
I bet you do.
And we have fun. So when next time you come to Texas, we'll plan a girl party.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Men are invited, but they don't usually show up.
Well, I have my husband come and have him grill because he can barbecue. He's from
Oh, good.
Yeah, from Texas. He has family down in Port Arthur, and we have family in Houston, and a lot of them were really impacted by this last hurricane.
Oh,
What did
yeah.
it look like on the ground down there?
Well, it's until a couple of days ago it was drying out, but we keep having rains, and the river, actually the freeways flooded a couple of 3 days ago, and lots of water. It just didn't have any place to go. But it's normal for Houston. But Hurricane Harvey was so abnormal, it was scary. I still know people who are not in their homes yet because the workers were scarce. I mean, they can only do so many jobs. Then they go to the next one, and you couldn't line up a contractor. And the
Right.
expense of redoing it, and most of them, quite a few, let's say, did not have flood insurance. They weren't in a flood zone. They are now. And now it'll be extremely expensive for flood insurance. So it's very disheartening.
Is I want you to put a shout out because I did a great interview with Mona Frios, who works for the Department of Emergency Management
Oh,
here in San Diego, and she told me to tell you to take pictures of unmet needs and post them. So if there's
post it where?
you can post it on your Facebook page. You can post it on my Facebook page. It's probably the easiest. And what they're doing is they're trying to gather that data to see really where resources need to go. And so again, if there's a community that you know, have them take pictures of, I don't know, maybe something's going on with the school that hasn't been repaired, or some housing. But take pictures of those and send them to me at agoodperson.biz. That's info at agoodperson.biz, and we'll see if we can work that out because that's what I do.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah.
Superb, because there's a lot of need for a lot of folks. It's very, very sad, and I was very fortunate. I live on a hill out in the country, so I didn't have a flood problem, but so many people did. They were wiped out in a lot of cases, and some people had been wiped out 2 and 3 and 4 times. I have a girlfriend, I think this was her 4th major flood. I couldn't go back, but she can't sell it, so she
Right.
has to go back and fix it again. Oh,
I don't
very,
know.
very sad.
Yeah, let me
But
know. Let me know.
it's part of living in Houston. We've gotten used to floods, but not really.
Yeah, well, we're real dry here, and everyone always is waiting for the big earthquake. But I want people to be prepared because preparedness is a personal responsibility.
Exactly.
Folks think somebody's going to come and get you. They're not coming to get you. They're trying to take care of their family.
That's right.
ID, you don't have your medications written down, you're a senior citizen, you're in a wheelchair, an oxygen tank, really, you don't have a clear-cut plan how to survive for at least 3 days.
Oh yeah.
What I saw was just of monumental proportion. I worked with the Red Cross during Hurricane Katrina, and I never seen anything like that.
Oh, you
And
went to New Orleans?
oh no, I didn't have the courage to go to New Orleans.
Oh,
I worked it from the Red Cross here. Oh yeah, that was more than I can handle. I know my limits and my boundaries. But as far as working the ground and getting the resources to them and getting the money and the funds, I was definitely a part of that. But any disaster that happens,
oh, I'm glad to know that.
and it's a layered effect, a disaster. It's not just the earthquake, it's the contaminated water, no electricity, no resources, limited resources. So again, I just kind of put that out there too, that for all of us, it's that fire season here in California. So you need to all be prepared, especially you senior citizens. You better promise me, I'm watching you from the edge now.
Well, we need you very much. Thank you for that. Wow. Well, there's so much more to this lady that we're not even going to be able to touch. So I'm inviting her back again. We'll do another one of these wonderful sessions with her because I want to know more about her brains because she is one brilliant lady and I love her dearly. And I have not met her yet except through the video.
You know what? I want to tell my brains too. You dropped you really touched me with a carrot of wisdom when you gave me the definition for the word ask, and I will never forget it. And I have shared it with many many people. So I
Well,
want to.
tell the audience that one.
So she told me to write the word ask vertically. And A is for ask and ye shall receive. S is for seek and ye shall find. And K is knock and the door shall be opened unto you. So make the ask, a little bit goes a long way. We're at a critical mass, brains. You got to give a hand up and a hand out. Be nice, don't be mean, don't be angry. Let the people merge over in your lane. One love, like the one that I found with Lady Lou.
Oh, thank you, April. A big virtual hug. Love
Mm,
you, love you, love you.
I will love you.
So good. Now we're going to listen to this.